Happy Wednesday, everybody. So we're at a campground and the internet is kind of horrible. So I wasn't able to finish my introduction stuff and music because everything is just really slow. So anyway, I don't know where Deweese is. She's somewhere inside of there. I think she's getting ready. We're on a goofy time schedule here. We're going from Central Time to Pacific Time, 2 hours difference. So that's a little odd for us. So normally our 7 o'clock is now 5 o'clock. It's really nice and warm out. We're in Washington State. And I hope everybody's doing well. And I thank you all for coming in. First off, I'd like to say hi to Susan Tyler. I believe that's our guest's mom. And Bill H is here. McFly is here, who must know our guest fairly well. And who else do we have in here? Kramer, of course, and Paramom. Eric is here. And not too many right now. Duck Spit. Bonnie Franz, of course, she wouldn't miss it. So hopefully we get a few more as the hour goes on. So let's introduce, let's see if Wheezy's coming in here first. Do you want to join us tonight?
Yes.
Deweese?
Yes.
We're here. We've started the show.
Oh, we have?
All right. Yes.
I'm trying to get in here.
Okay. So anyway, let's introduce Jason into the show. Hey, Jason.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Wheezy.
So,
hey, Jay.
Welcome.
Hi, Jason.
So where are you? Okay, we got a little bit of a lag here. Jason, tell us where you're at and where you're from.
So I live down in Carl Junction, Missouri, so just outside of Joplin, and I've been here for 20 something years, and but originally kind of born and raised up in Michigan. So every once in a while I make a trip up there and fly with the folks at the Silver Lake or whatever. But
so who do you know up at Silver Lake? I think we know at least one that we've talked to.
Last time I was up there, yeah, Josh Perry and Kyle Oakley were with me, and Aaron I, and several others.
You were with that crew, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
and what about
Shane? It's good. Shane Wyman, yeah, I know him well, and I saw him just a few months ago down at Bad Apples, and that was cool. Good to catch up with him.
Yep, he's a sweetheart. So when's the last time you've been flying?
It was just a few days ago. We were down in Neosho, Missouri, and Josh Perry was down there working with some students at Ozark Paramotor, and had a chance to make a few laps around the airport, and it was pretty thermic, but it was good flying. We managed to stop traffic in a few spots, so that's always fun.
I was just going to ask, what's Josh Perry doing these days?
He's working on his school, training new paramotor pilots, and so it was great to fly with a few of them just a couple of days ago.
Okay. Deweese, did you have something?
What kind of equipment do you have? What do you fly?
So I have a Mac Fly with the folding cage, and I fly a Factory R because I'm pretty heavy. It takes a lot of thrust to get me off the ground, and I'm foot launch, so probably one of the heaviest foot launch pilots out there, over like 320 pounds. So, but I fly a Mac Fly titanium with the Factory R, and for wings, I have a Universal 1.1. It's a 34 meter. that's the wing I've been flying the most for the past couple of years. Just recently, I was flying a 38 meter Piper tandem. It's one of Matt Minyard's wings, and I literally just yesterday bought that wing. So so now I've got a couple, and then I have a few that I ground handle. So it's one of them is a Dudek. What is it? V-King. It's an 18 meter, so way too small for me to fly, but fun to take to the beach. It's a single skin, and it inflates really easy, but fun for just kind of throwing it around, or a Roadrunner, a little 14 meter speed wing. Those are great for learning on. And I think there's a video that I sent to Jade of me getting gift wrapped in the Roadrunner. So
yeah, I'm trying to get those, and wonderful internet.
It's all right.
Yeah, we've got some bad internet here. Yeah.
So, and Jade, if you need me to.
So where did you?
Yeah, if you want to show them, you can.
Sure. So.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can see if I could do that. Yeah. But no, I grew up in Michigan, and a big part of that was my dad. He would take me to air shows as a kid, and we'd always go down to like the Kalamazoo Air Show, see the planes down there. He was a C-130 crew chief, so when we would go on a C-130, he would basically point out every component of that aircraft. And so from a really young age, that got me into aviation. And don't know if I can present an image, but might be able to present my screen. So let me see if I can do this.
That's pretty neat. I was a med tech on the C-130.
Is that showing up?
Nope.
No.
Maybe not. No. Okay. Oh, here we go. So
There we go.
this is a picture of my dad, from a couple of years ago.
Yep, we got that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the people that really encouraged me to get into paramotor flying, and it was one of the last things that he did. He actually came down with COVID back in 2020 and passed away before I had a chance to fly, to show him that I could fly. But he's one of the main inspirations I had for for getting up there and doing this and really kind of enjoying it.
I'm sorry for that, for losing your dad like that.
Yeah. So after we lost Dad, I started training, and I went down to Louisiana, and I trained with Kyle O'Glee.
Oh. Luis and Randy went down there.
Yeah.
It was amazing and fun. I got up on a Moster 185, so it took a little bit of doing, but let's see if does that show up for you?
Yep,
Jade?
we got
there
it.
You go.
Yep.
So this was just after my first flight with Kyle. Down in Louisiana, down at the Spring Hill Airport. Many people, I'm sure. Yep. I see Bill H is out there. He's been there many times.
Yeah.
But no, just had a fantastic time. Did a great butt landing that was like 30 feet long across the ground, that first landing. But I got safely back on the ground, and it was a wonderful experience. While I was down there, I had a chance to read through this book. This is the Eric Farewell's book, Farewell to Normal. And, it was kind of a challenging time for me in my life. At that time I had lost my dad, and I was going through some really deep personal things, and, COVID was hitting, and so it was just a really hard time, but flying paramotors was something that kind of gave me something to aim for, something to do. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, Scuba is a alumni from Caledonia too. Bill H
Okay.
is. Hey guys. Yeah, there's probably some other people that are from Calo in here too.
Scuba, what
Yeah, so
sickness do you have? Sorry. Anyway, go ahead. Show your pictures and tell stories with them.
sure.
Yep.
So I'll share a video file. Let's hope this works. This was me when I was just learning how to kite a wing. If that comes through.
Yep.
And I was kiting at a local park, and it was kind of a strong, gusty, thermally day that day, and didn't know how to properly check the wing for surges or really what I was doing, on the brakes, and wound up gift wrapping myself. So it was really quite an experience learning how to do it. I'm sure many people can relate that have gone through the process of trying to figure out how to control a wing. It's extremely frustrating, and you question your purpose in life after going through something like that. But eventually it's like it clicks, and you get it, you figure out how to actually control it. And so that was kind of my experience with just the learning side of it. And then, later on when I went through training, let me see if I have that video handy. This was my first flight with Kyle. Oops, that's not the right one. Should be this one.
Oh, Scuba says, I think he missed it, but he wanted to know when you trained.
That was back in March of 21. So I've been flying for a couple of years now. It was one of Kyle's first classes that year. So I was one of two students. It was me and Charles Smith and a couple of other guys that were out there. My first flight, we tried to do the tow machine, and something on the clutch broke, and we smoked the clutch on the tow machine. So my first actual flight was the real deal, strap on the paramotor and take off into the sky. So Jade, I'm not sure if that other video is showing up for you.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I was sleeping.
So this was my first flight. I never got the chance to do a tow or anything like that.
So when the inflation, you want those lines nice and wide when you go. That way they go around the hoop. You'll feel the wing come up. Just when you check it, add some power and start going with it. Don't jump the gun. But do it. I'll call it. It's freaking amazing, dude. You ready? Let's kite it down here, Jordan. Okay, here we go. On drive. Stay up. Get in. Brakes. Up power.
Boy.
There's Charles Smith in the background. He was the one filming this for me. And so I always got a kick out of seeing, people's first flights and sort of their reaction to doing something like this. And so for me, it was sort of an almost spiritual moment to get up there, and then you get up there and you figure out, okay, how am I gonna get back down? Takeoffs are optional, but landings are not.
Reach down and then
so
scoot in.
Had a lot going through my head, but it was great having Kyle
Just like
in
we
my
did in the
ear,
simulator.
walking me through everything that was going on.
That feels a lot better, doesn't it?
How did it feel for you being up there for the first time? What was your experience?
Turn. Let's do a
turn. It's not what you experience on YouTube.
Lean,
you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos and it makes it look almost easy, but if you get up there in person and you're flying around and you're trying to figure out this new sensation of if I pull on this brake and you start to swing and it pops back out. Everything's kind of awkward. And, I was fortunate to have a really calm, butter smooth air that night. But it was, I don't know, I'd say life-changing at that point. I really just enjoyed that first flight, got up pretty high, about 1,500 feet, very safe flight. And the video kind of cuts out because Charles, who was the other student, he was getting ready to go up himself. So he was excited. He kind of cut the video at that point and threw on his paramotor and took off. And we both flew together that first time. So it was really kind of cool. But no, I loved Kyle's instruction and just everything about that process of, going through and mastering sort of kiting and understanding your wing and your motor and the airspace rules and things like that before you actually get in the air.
Right.
The view's pretty good from up there too, huh?
Yeah, it's spectacular. So in Louisiana, it's very flat, so I had lots of places to land there at the airport, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you have a lot more outs there than you do in Wisconsin by us.
Yeah, for sure. There's still a lot of trees. There's a swamp along the edge of the runway, but didn't have to land in the weeds at all. So, yeah.
A swamp with gators?
I don't know if he has gators there, but it was.
I'm sure there are. There's probably some snakes.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's not a place I would want to land for sure. After kind of learning how to fly, after that I started going to fly-ins and things like that. I've been to endless foot drag, I think 4, maybe 5 times now. So that's really been an experience. I've only really had one sort of major injury. I wouldn't even call it major, but I was landing at endless foot drag and I kind of caught a crosswind, tripped, and I put my hand out to stop me. And as I was doing that, my hand kind of brushed across the ground and I dislocated this finger. So you can see it's kind of like Kyle's. It's not quite straight, but yeah, it was pointing out sort of that way. And I didn't want to put a picture on YouTube because it'd probably demonetize you guys and a bunch of people would, get off the channel and start throwing up or something. But I was able to pop it back in right there and, go to the doctor that night. He says I said it just fine, so everything's good.
Good.
Overall, though, it's a very safe sport. That's really the only real injury I've had doing it. So, a few years later, I had a chance to kind of go down to see Eric Farewell down at Aviator, and he helped me with some of my spot landings, and it really helped. Let me see if I can show that one.
So did you sign up for some extra training or
No,
what did you do?
I was hanging out there with Josh Perry and Eric said, "Hey man, let me work with you a little bit." And so, we did a few touch and goes, a couple different landings. This one was one of my first real touch and goes where I had a motor off, landing, foot drag landing at that. And Eric came out, restarted me. And I had Kelly right there with me too. And we're just hanging out, having a great day that day. And they were training a bunch of other students. And so we had a lot of fun that day. And I got to hang out with Johnson Q and Leah Cutullo, who right now they're over in the UK doing that big cross-country trip.
Right.
So, yeah, Johnson actually, he says, "Hey, man, I could do a backflip on your wing." And I said, "Okay, show me." And so I handed him my wing and he went over there and kited it. And we had, I don't know, it was probably 15 gusting 20. I don't know if that video is going to play or not. Maybe not.
So Duckspit wants to know, what does Jason know about DDoS or low orbit ion cannon? I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure I know either. DDoS would be probably a distributed denial of service attack. Do you know that? I'm not seeing the comments, but Yeah, I use paramotor as a great way to kind of escape from what I do professionally. I do cybersecurity. I'm a principal security architect for a big manufacturing company, and so having a chance to get out and go fly is it's almost like an escape in a way, but it kind of helps. Just it's almost like meditation. You can get up there in the air and you just get in your head, and it's very freeing. So. See if you could play that video again. Like I did put the video of Johnson Q up there. I'm not sure if that is showing up or not.
Yeah, I don't know where Jade went.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe she'll be back. Can you play it?
I don't think
From
so.
your side?
No, I don't think I have access to play it. But
Maybe she'll be back in a second.
but no, Aviator
There
was
she is.
it was a great experience. Oh, here he is. Here's there was a couple skydivers coming in really fast. And then Johnson grabbed my wing and kited it and was able to do a backflip on a 38-meter wing. But yeah, I haven't been following too closely some of the updates from the UK, how they're doing. But I know they're doing that cross-country challenge over there. That's pretty exciting. And you can tell it was very gusty, and that's a huge wing for Johnson. He's he's very small on that wing.
That's a huge wing.
Yeah. But he's an amazing pilot. It was fun to fly with him down in Florida. And while I was there, Matt Minyard sent me a text message and said, "Hey, you're down in Florida. Why don't you come down to Jupiter Beach with me and we'll go flying down there?" So I said, "All right, yeah, that sounds like fun." So so my mom went with me, and it was actually my first time flying on the ocean. But it was when we got there, I said, "Hey, maybe Matt will have his tandem gear with him and can take Mom up for a flight." And she thought I was joking, but Matt wasn't. And so Matt was able to take her up on a tandem flight for her first flight, and it was pretty exciting. I think it was pretty terrifying for her that first time.
But she ultimately had a good time.
She did. There's sort of a victory picture that I've got of her after the flight. The motor off while he was talking to her on her cell phone, and she was death gripping that riser bar. But then he turns the phone and it gets real quiet, and then he says, "Hey, look down there. There's your son straight below us," and it was kind of a cool moment. So we were at Jupiter Beach, just north of Miami, Florida. And conditions that night were great. It was just very laminar winds. Yeah, there I am down below flying my wing. So yeah, they were having a great time.
At least she's got a smile on her face.
Yeah. He said, "Hey, why don't you flap your wings like a bird?" And so she did. She didn't want to let go of that bar. So, but a pretty amazing experience down there.
That's all right.
So what's the next adventure you plan on going to, or where you plan on going?
Well, I was planning on going out west to California, but I got a call yesterday from Canyon, and he said that they had canceled the Adventure Wingman this year. So I signed up for it, and I've been preparing for it, and unfortunately it got canceled. So it was kind of a bummer. But I'm thinking
did they
about.
say why?
I think it was just numbers. I think, at first they had a few people sign up, and it just didn't make economic sense after a while. So, but yeah, I was kind of bummed about that. Yeah, there's
Your mom
She
liked
says
the death grip.
death grip on the bar. Yeah. And I've got a picture there of her and Matt after they landed, which she's way more relaxed, I think, in that picture. So
Yeah, that's a little better. It's all over with. She's safe.
yep.
So, Susan, would you go up again? Or would you go up with your son if he ever became tandem certified?
I don't think she'd ever trust me.
Hi, Bill.
I see John Wayne's in here. Glad you could make it, John Wayne. Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah. Hi, John Wayne.
He's going for his first checkup tomorrow. He says, "Hope Doc
Doc's
says
not
I."
going to say you can fly yet.
No, don't rush it. And Susan says she would go up
No,
again.
it's not. Yes, she would. Oh, good for her.
And
So, what did you? Go ahead.
sorry, yeah. So after Florida, though, I did have a chance to go to Bad Apples for the first time. That was pretty wild. Had my first flight above the clouds. Had a chance to meet Tucker and get a picture with him. So I thought that was one of the highlights of my flying career, I guess, because I've always watched pretty much every one of his videos, and I was fascinated by his Icarus race. So I've watched that a few times, and I thought, hey, I want to do that style of flying. I want to be able to do cross country. Did that picture show up? Maybe not.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
So yeah, this was at Bad Apples this year. Man, it was cool to fly with everybody out there. Tucker's pretty cool, so it was neat meeting him in person. And
Is he
yeah,
quiet?
great people.
Very quiet.
What's that?
Was he very quiet?
He was a little bit, but no, I found him to be very personable. He's a really interesting person. So, and it was neat to talk to him about his Icarus race a little bit and some of those things. So,
Susan.
Jake's will have to get a helicopter engine.
Did you see what your mom said?
uh-oh. Yeah, helicopter engine. That's it would take. Yeah. We'd have to do a lot of running, especially to get both of us up in the air. She doesn't weigh much, but I do. So, yeah.
So what do you
and
think
so
about trikes?
I've thought about it. I want to try and hold that off as long as I possibly can because I enjoy foot launch. Just the shorter takeoff and the shorter landing distances that you need. Plus, if I want to do more adventure flying, being able to land in tighter LZs, like a cornfield behind a gas station or on the apron of an airport or something like that. I think it's a little bit more free to do that. Now, I have looked at trikes, and I've looked at like the mini trike add-on for the MacFly. And at some point, I probably will switch over and fly trikes. And I did Kyle's trike trainer down in Louisiana. That thing is fun. It's like a little go-kart where you can't get your lines wrapped up in a prop, learning how to control a trike. And it's very counterintuitive because you have to like steer towards the object that you want to get away from in a trike in order to swing your wing over. So it was interesting to learn, how trike pilots have to control the wing, and how they have to very carefully plan the area that they can take off in, because it takes so much longer to get off the ground and so much longer to land. But no, I enjoyed it, and at some point I probably will pick up a trike. Definitely be easier to take off in because you just sit back and squeeze the throttle and control the wing. But
Yeah, we got Scuba in one now, and he says it makes it so easy.
Yeah, and you could just use it as an alternative from time to time, like maybe it's both.
And and it would prevent some of the issues that I have had. So there was a video that I put up on Facebook or on YouTube recently that I was taking off foot launch, and I got up about 100 feet in the air, scooted myself up in the seat, and as I did, I had a little Baofeng radio, kind of like this one, and it came unclipped.
You might be wondering how I found myself
and went through my prop.
Stay tuned, and I'll tell you how.
Oh no!
So yeah, the corn was like 8 feet tall.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Yeah.
As you can see, today's takeoff didn't go as planned. My buddy Josh Perry was with me out of the field in Oswego, Kansas. Winds were a little bit switchy. This was my first time flying a 38-meter Piper tandem. As you can see, wing came up a little bit funny. Winds were kind of switchy. But we got the big ears to kind of pop out. My buddy Leroy, he was downfield kiting. Plenty of room. He was out of the way. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Helps if you talk to your wing.
There we go. Had about a 5 mile per hour headwind. Short takeoff. Again, this is the first time I was flying this new Piper tandem. Trying to locate the magnets for the brake lines. Once I got those stowed, I scooted myself up into the seat. At this point, the radio came unclipped from my harness, went between the netting, and got caught in my prop. So I got back on the brakes, tried to turn left, get back to the taxiway. Corn at this point was about 8 feet high. Gave it a good flare just above the corn, and it set me down nice and gentle. When my friends heard the prop strike, they saw pieces of prop and radio flying in every direction. They immediately jumped in the truck and came out to rescue me. Because I had no radio, I didn't have a way to quickly tell them I was okay. I destroyed my prop, took a few minor scratches, but was uninjured. If you're going to fly with a radio, make sure the clip and the lanyard are attached to a carabiner or your harness. This crash could have been prevented by just doing that simple step. The night was not ruined, however. We did get to see Shane's first flight.
Run, step to your left, get underneath it. Give me a little bit of power, a little bit of power, a little bit of power, lean back. A little bit of power, more power, man. A little bit more power, don't be afraid of it. Give me a little bit of break. Do not sit down, keep running. Power, full power, hold it down, there you go, hell yeah. Hold that throttle down, full throttle, brother, full throttle, hold it down. Give me a little bit of left brake. Let it run, I need you all the way out of that seat. Wait, give me a little bit of pressure, 1 to 3 inches, hold. All the way down, run. Okay, go, man. Hell yeah,
Woohoo! Heck yeah! Heck yeah!
Oh man!
Oh yeah!
Hell yeah, brother!
That's
crazy! Oh my gosh!
How was it?
That was awesome.
You owe me a beer here.
I freaking dropped it. I could too.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are great guys to fly with, and this is what's left of the end of my brand new prop that I bought at Bad Apples. So that's what a radio like this will do to a prop. Is it will the prop will not survive. But no, I think I saw Duck Spit or somebody say, yeah, the corn is very sharp. It is. It'll cut you up pretty good, but. Fortunately, most of the gear was just fine.
That was Bill H. and Duckspit says
okay.
He's going to grab some corn chips.
Yeah, the guys they gave me a nickname that day. They call me Corn Killer. So Yep.
I
No,
think
it was.
I remember seeing this video when you brought it out. Also, just real quick, don't forget to subscribe.
Yep. Did we lose you, Jade? I think we lost Jade and Wheezy. I'm just waiting for them to come back on. She was at a campground, and I guess they have pretty terrible internet service there. So today's not a good day for internet. So I get to run paramotorgirl.com today. Hi, everybody. Well, let me see if I got any other good videos for you. So, yeah, since that crash, I've been trying to get better at flying the tandem Piper 38 meter. Again, that was the first time I had flown that wing, and wound up in the corn, so I wasn't really sure what to expect as far as how that wing would truly control it, how easily I'd be able to control it. I've had about 6 or 7 flights since then. I see Craig B saying, how long did it take us to get out of the field? Fortunately, I had 4 guys standing right there that watched me go down in the corn. So they were out there within about 20 minutes. They had no idea, what kind of shape I was in, or the equipment, or even where I was. And so they came out. It took us probably a good hour to get the wing and the motor and everything else carried out of the corn to the side of the field, because it was pretty deep in there. And it was surprising when you're in corn like that, especially tall corn, how quiet it can be. So you can be yelling for your friends to say, hey guys, I'm over here, and they can't hear you. But eventually they found me. They kind of knew about where I was, and came out, picked me out of the weeds, and still had enough time for a couple guys to get a couple flights in after that. And but that wing I've flown I think a total of 6 or 7 flights now. It's been a really good, solid wing. Great for cross country, no oscillation. It's a little harder to steer than the Universal is because there's more brake pressure. But overall, it's a fantastic wing, and I did get my highest altitude on that wing. I was up to 5,000 feet, and so it was a new personal altitude record for me. My hope is that even though the Adventure Wingman was canceled this year, I'll get to do some more adventure flying here pretty soon. Contemplating a trip either out west or something up to Michigan. So my mom would be very happy to hear me say I'm going to come back up to Michigan. There's Jade. Looks like the internet gods have
Yep.
got you back online. That's good.
Glad you took over.
Oh yeah, I just talk to the camera. But no, it's been a really good adventure since then. Jade, I got one more picture here. This is a picture I took of Gaggle. I got up to 5,000 feet over our local LZ here in Neosho. Let me see if I can find it here. is. So that was a personal altitude record for me. It was really, really cold up there, so I didn't go up any higher. But it was really smooth, and head on a swivel for things like aircraft. But Gaggle helps a lot with that, with the ADSB feedback to let you know where the aircraft are around you. But you kind of see down there on the field, there's a couple vehicles. That's where they were doing a couple more student flights that night.
And where was that at?
This was in Neosho, Missouri, and it was really kind of neat getting up that high. It's almost like you're looking at a map without the text, I guess.
Right. But
you're just kind of up there in a swing set, hanging up at that really cold altitude. It was a little bit hazy. I think there were some wildfires out west. They kind of added a lot of the haze that you see in the picture there.
Yep.
But it was amazing the temperature drop. At the ground level, it was 90 some degrees, and up there it felt like it was in the low 50s. Go ahead, Jade.
The first time I went high enough, the first time I had gone fairly high was my first day I graduated after my 25th flight. And I didn't have anything on me. I didn't know about Gaggle back then or anything. And my ears popped. I felt the climate change. There were no bugs. Everything was silent. And it just makes me wonder how high I was, and it's like it took me forever to come back down.
Yeah, it sure does. Especially with the big wing like I was flying. The glide slope is so efficient. It probably took 30 minutes just to coast all the way back down.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. Had some great adventures. There was, Josh Perry and I were out at a place called Little Sahara State Park. It's out in Kansas. And there was a train that ran nearby. I'm not sure if it's going to let me share that video. Oh, I need to just take these off here. And, as a kid, my dad worked at Steelcase, and we'd always have these big Steelcase trucks out there. And we'd stick your hand out the window and kind of give them the horn symbol, like you'd get them to honk their horn. So I did that on a paramotor with a train.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's one of those great things about flying on a paramotor is you get to do stupid fun stuff like that, and it's fun to see the reaction from kids all the way to train engineers, because they think it's just as cool too that you're flying along, and they're probably bored sitting there just looking at track all day. So
yeah. Linda, what's going on in the East Coast now? I've been without news for a while. North Carolina, not happy now, you're saying. Pair of peeps. Is there a storm or something going on?
Yeah, tropical depression, I think, or hurricane.
Oh, yep, the hurricane. Did it make landfall?
I think the second time, yeah. It first hit Florida.
Oh.
And then cut out to the Atlantic, and then is cutting back inland now. And but fortunately, because of the hurricane there,
I heard
put
it
some
was
nice high pressure over us. So we've got good weather here for now.
Oh, there you go. And we have, I don't know if it's still smoke from Canada, because we're past Montana now, but smoke, or if it's just the weather coming in, but we can't see the mountains out here, Mount Hood, or anything like that. This morning we took Deweese and Randy to the Canadian border and to show them the Blacktop Road and the little three cables going across the ditch line to show the border. and couldn't see all the big mountains in Canada or anything. So
Wow.
I don't know if that's the smoke or what, but kind of bummed. It's
Yeah.
like can't see any of that.
I did see there are some TFRs up in that
So-
area for wildfires. So it's gotten pretty bad. Some of them are thousands of acres in size.
Yeah, we could see quite a few areas where we were passing where there was just recent fires along the ditches and up into the pastures and stuff like that. It was, and I was talking to one of the gentlemen that I was trying to help sell his trike buggy on the Just Wanna Fly Facebook page, and he's from Helena, Montana, and he was saying that they're still fighting some of the fires up there too in Montana. So
Yeah, it's crazy how big some of those fires
now an
get.
earthquake this morning in California. Yeah, I'm missing out on all the news.
The joys of camping, huh?
I get to see the Olympics once in a while. Right. So, flying EFD.
That's the plan. EFD's mid to late September. Probably go back out there. I think this will be my 5th year in a row going to it, and I look
I've
forward to
always
it
wanted
every
to go
year.
there.
Josh Perry tells me that I get stupid lucky there because I've won an off-grid throttle and a dudek wing, and it's just dumb luck, I guess. But so I
Nice.
enjoy going back because I happen to win a few cool things, but it's always good, and some amazing people there. James Bellevue is one that I get to see him every time we're out there, and I think last year I ran into Trevor and Judson. They were there. So it was neat to meet them in person and talk to them a little bit.
We almost went last year, but it would have been too hard in the wheelchair. I was still in the wheelchair last year at that time. So
Definitely a great fly-in. It's very well organized. It's nice because you can park right there on the runway, and then everybody just takes off right off the side of the runway on the grass, and it's big, open, flat. The name says, endless foot drag. You can foot drag fields for miles, and the community there is
I
very
know what I was going to ask.
accepting of people. Yeah, they like paramotor pilots out there for sure.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So Josh Perry last year was at EAA. Were you there also?
Yeah, we had a chance to fly at AirVenture. That's a different kind
So
of
did
flying.
I meet you?
I think maybe briefly. We were there in 23. I got my mug for flying at EAA, and it's wild because you take off and there's just this sea of campers. There's 40,000 campers and like 10,000 aircraft and 600,000 people, and I was still working on my landings, and so it was great. I got to butt land in front of like 2,000 people in the bleachers, and they all started cheering for me because I stood back up. And but no, it was good. It's EAA is a wild place with the number of people and the number of aircraft, and paramotors are one small piece of that. We get to fly in the mornings and the evenings for a very narrow window, and they give you a very prescriptive flight path that you have to stick to. You have to stay at 300 feet. You have to, turn left here, turn left here, turn left here. It makes a small little loop over the ultralight field. And it was great to, meet some of the other pilots that was there. I think I did see you or ran into you just briefly, but yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it.
I was the one in the wheelchair, so
Okay.
I wouldn't have been running too far away from you. So do you plan to go back there at all at EAA?
Yeah, I'd like to do it again someday. It's a very different kind of flying for sure. And anybody who's gone that flies paramotors, there is an RC airfield that's to the southwest, about like 6 or 7 miles. And there was a group of us that went out there. think like Nick Vizakis was there and some others. And we had a chance to just kind of fly around that area for the night. There's probably 10 or 15 of us. But yeah, it's a great place to go.
I put the invite in the chat if anybody wants to join in and come on here and chat with us and bring up a topic or anything. Talk with Jason. So Bill had to go cut grass.
Yeah, and I did see Bill down in Louisiana, and then again he was at Endless Foot Drag. I think it was last year.
Did you meet Kramer last year at Endless?
I don't think I did.
You can't miss her.
You might. She's so short in the crowd.
She's short.
You on here tonight?
Mhm.
Okay. Hey, Kramer.
She's on here. She wouldn't miss us. Let's see, what else can we ask? What can we talk about? What do you think of Washington?
Me? Or,
Yeah, you.
oh, me.
Go ahead.
I love it here. The weather is gorgeous. And right over there, I think it's that way, is Mount Hood. It's beautiful.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
It's just gorgeous here. And we rode the little scooters around today, and it was really nice.
You went to the border. I told him
Went to the border, yeah. It's just a little wire.
in a ditch.
In a ditch, keeping you from jumping into Canada.
And if you drive your truck across the ditch, you're going to get stuck in the ditch.
Yeah.
Can't get out.
So, and there's no cars, so just run and jump.
Oh, there's cameras.
I mean, there's probably cameras. Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
I know there are. And last year we talked to the Border Patrol, and they hang out down the road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably
Or
watching.
2 years ago.
It's nice here though.
So
It's a nice temperature.
yesterday it was kind of like 68 degrees. It was cold and windy
Yeah.
yesterday here. It was like sweatshirt and pants weather.
Sounds nice.
So,
It was in the 90s.
Today
here.
it turned out. Oh, again?
Yeah.
Wow.
The Midwest is really hot. So hopefully it'll cool off here a little bit. Get some flying.
So
in.
Jason Kramer says she rode around with Bill H in his club car for EFD, and the rest of the time she was riding around in a Segway meeting people.
I probably did. That's the thing about EFD is there's 200 to 300 pilots that are there. So yeah, sorry if I missed you.
Right.
But no, it's great meeting everybody there, and yeah, there's a really good community at EFD for sure. It's one of the best parts about paramotor.
Stupid internet.
Oh, yeah, she's saying DQ card. So I've picked up this habit of getting these little parachutes online with the paramotor or the little parachute guys, and so I've been throwing like a $10 Dairy Queen gift card on there for the kids.
we
You know, when you
back?
fly over them.
Hang on, we're still here.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
here.
Are we back? Nope.
I can hear you. I can see you.
Jason, can you hear
Yep.
us?
I can hear you. I can see you. Your video is frozen, but I can hear you
Jason?
and see you. The internet. Wonderful.
Stupid internet.
So Carrie's telling me to talk
Okay.
about Michigan flying. Okay,
Yeah.
you're back. So I was telling him about these little parachute toys that I get on Amazon, and I throw a little $10 like Dairy Queen gift card on the parachutes for the kids. So as I'm flying over and kids are down there
Nice.
waving at you, I like to toss those things out, and I think that.
Well, that,
You know, kids think it's cool enough, you know, just seeing somebody fly over, but then when they wave back and they're able to throw you something that they can play with, and it kind of makes their whole day. So
Yeah, they see a parachute come out. They think that's awesome.
yeah, Amazon's got them. I think
Craig
they're
B.
Yeah, they're not super expensive. But it's fun. You know, I keep them up in my front pocket where they won't fall out and go through my prop or anything.
Amazon has them.
We did quite a bit of flying up around Michigan last year too. Silver Lake is really a neat place to fly. You know, I was there with Kyle and all those guys. And there's this off-road park that they drive ATVs and four-wheelers and things like that out there. And so they kind of eat it up that you're this dirt bike up in the sky, ripping around, kind of doing what they do without the sand. Jade, did I lose you again? I think I lost Jade again. She's gone. Well, I hope this has been a really entertaining show for everybody. I'll go solo again. And maybe I could try and answer some questions if you guys have them, throw them in chat. So I see Kramer. I'll look for you if you're with Lone Star Paramotor. I met Ron Turan down there. He's pretty cool when he was giving all the tandem rides and everything. I see Scuba's asking what about the wing. So I have a 34 meter Dudek Universal 1.1. That's sort of my main wing that I use just for goofing around. And then I've bought a 38 meter Piper tandem. And it's more for like heavy lift cross country. So if I'm doing a cross-country flight where I've got the saddlebags on and then 5 gallons of tank in the tank, my all-up weight is probably close to 450 pounds. So I'm one of the few people that foot launch a Piper tandem. Matt has asked that they custom order it because the hang point is normally a high hang point on that wing. And I'm one of the few people that will fly it with a low hang point. No Derp Sarah says, "Hey Dad, why did the paramotor enroll in school?" All right, Sarah, why did it enroll in school? She's going to be slow getting back to me because he wanted to be outstanding in its field. I see. Yeah, I've got my whole family here kind of supporting me through this adventure, and it's been great. Carrie is learning how to fly herself, so she's out kiting wings with me at the field through the week. Sarah, she's too chicken to fly a wing yet, so maybe someday I'll get her to the field and put a Roadrunner on her and teach her how to kite. So. But no, I enjoy flying the Piper tandem. It's a very smooth, very predictable kind of wing. It doesn't oscillate. I'm still working on the flare because it drops me like a sack of potatoes when I get a foot off the ground. But I think that's just because the brake lines are so long. And I totally agree, Scuba. It is it's a butt fan or a flying lawn chair. And some people say it's got a bed sheet over your head. Yeah, and most people, there's the common questions that they ask, like how long can you stay up for, or how much does something like that cost, or what kind of license do you need to fly it, or how high can you go, or any of those types of things. Always entertaining to hear the questions and talk to people. If you stop to get gas at a gas station, inevitably somebody's going to come up to you and say, "What the heck is that thing in the back of your truck?" Carrie and I were out in Kansas at a steakhouse, and a couple of farmers came up, and these guys are all in like their 70s and 80s, and they
they basically started cutting it up and saying, hey Joe, you could fly around and check on your cows with that thing. And it's always entertaining to see the reaction from people who haven't really been exposed to the paramotor community before. And so yeah, that part of it's always enjoyable. Just meeting new people through the sport, and getting to know people, watch them go through their progression when they're going through training, learning how to fly, getting up in the air for the first time. Those first flights are always incredible when they come back down and they've had that life-changing moment. So, well, I don't know what happened to Jade, and I don't know how long this channel's going to stay up with just me. So, I guess I'll I'll sign it off for the night. Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate you coming out to the channel, and I guess I'm the guest / host tonight. So, thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.
Sorry about that, everybody. You guys have a good night. I talked to Jason separate, and he was thankful again for everybody watching. So we'll see if I can play last week's outro. Have a good night.
We make new friends. We fly with new
I don't even think I can do that.